Hello everyone and welcome to the first video on the YouTube channel. Today we've got a simple yet I think very entertaining video in my opinion. I enjoy watching these myself, so I figured I'd do one. There's 2 to 3 games left in the season, so I figured I would rank every club's season based on expectation, how they've been, and just overall performance. So we have 5 tiers of ranking these 20 teams, and they are God tier, very good, we'll take it, less than impressed, and in the bin / relegated. And without further ado, let's get into it. So, first team we have is AFC Bournemouth. And I'm going to go very good. In my opinion, they were expected to get relegated. They got a good manager in Gary O'Neill after sacking 2 managers. The likes of Dominic Solanke, Tavernier, a lot of good little players. Philip Billing, all kept them up. And they're currently sitting 14th on the ladder. So, good on them. Very good season. Arsenal, God tier. Myself, and I think a lot of people expected them to maybe scrape Europe or get into Europa League. But they went on a massive title charge with Mikel Arteta. A lot of key players like Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, William Saliba. Very, very good side, and Mikel Arteta's got him playing some fantastic football, and it's unfortunate that they fell behind in the title race because I would have loved to see someone else win the title other than Man City, to be honest, but it is what it is, and they will sit in God tier on this tier list. Next up, we have Aston Villa. Villa will sit in very good. After sacking Steven Gerrard, I didn't have much faith. They bring in Unai Emery as he left his job at Villarreal. And they've been a success. They've been very, very good. And the likes of Ollie Watkins, Emi Buendia, Leon Bailey, all been able to chip in. And they're currently sitting in 7th, equal on points with Tottenham, only behind on 2 goal difference. So good on Aston Villa. And I actually hope they play European football instead of Tottenham, because who likes Tottenham? Next team we have Brentford. And I'm going to say very good because I had them getting relegated. A lot of teams suffer in their second season after getting promoted from the Championship. They lost Christian Eriksen to Man United, who they hoped they'd keep after having him for 6 months. But big players like Ivan Toney and Buemo, a lot of good players have stepped up, and their manager, Thomas Frank, is one of the best in the business, in my opinion. He is so good and has Brentford playing an amazing brand of football. Brighton. God tier. Brighton are an exciting football team. Their recruitment system is fantastic. A lot of great players in their team. Obviously, they lost Leandro Trossard to Arsenal in January, and I thought that was going to hurt them a lot. But Alexis McAllister, Moises Caicedo, Evan Ferguson, Matoma, all brilliant, amazing young players. And their manager, Robert De Zerbi, he deserves a round of applause, as he is fantastic after replacing Graham Potter when he departed to go to Chelsea. Speaking of Chelsea, in the bin, relegated. What else can I say? They have been easily the worst team in the league this season in terms of expectation and how they're playing. £600 million spent by Todd Boehly across his tenure as owner at Chelsea. They've even gone to the lengths of re-recruiting Frank Lampard as manager, which is god-awful. So Chelsea will be sitting rock bottom for me on this list, and they're currently sat 11th on 43 points, which is almost half of what Man City have, which is bloody embarrassing. Next on the list, Crystal Palace. We'll take it. I think Crystal Palace, well, they're in 12th at the moment, and for them, mid-table is probably where they belong. I think they've really solidified themselves as a good Premier League club, especially with players like Eberechi Eze, Michael Olise, Wilfried Zaha, even though they're probably going to lose him. They're a very good football team. Joachim Andersen, Mark Gehi, a very, very good football side. Picking up a lot of points against weird opponents. Like, they're picking up points they shouldn't be, and they're losing points they shouldn't be. So, it's odd, but overall, good season. Roy Hodgson has them ticking again after they sacked Patrick Vieira. Yeah, we'll take it for them. Everton in the bin. Frank Lampard, dipped Everton to an all-time low. He got sacked. They brought in Sean Dyche. He drew, I think, his first game against Arsenal. He either won it or drew it. And ever since then, they've kind of been on a downward spiral. And yeah, they sit in the relegation, almost in the relegation zone. They're currently on 32 points in 17th. And yeah, Everton in the bin / relegated. Where else could I really put them? Fulham. Very good. Getting promoted from the Championship isn't always easy, and Marco Silva has made it look easy, especially with that Fulham side and how they're playing. The likes of Mitrovic, the likes of João Palhinha, who's been one of the buys of the season, Bernd Leno, who got outcast at Arsenal. He's turned mediocre players into absolute superstars, and I feel like they're going to lose a lot of players. But if they do keep hold of them, I think that they might go on a bit of a run and maybe charge for a Europa League spot next season. Next, we have Leeds. If they get out of relegation, it'll be here. But for now, they currently sit 18th, and I don't have faith that they're going to stay up. So in the bin / relegated, they don't have any recognised goal scorers. Their team's pretty mediocre. They've run through managers like Jesse Marsch, etc. Now they're on to Big Sam. And hopefully Big Sam, as much as his resume suggests he can keep teams up, I don't think Leeds will stay up. Leicester. Wow. 19th is no spot for a team like Leicester. That midfield of Tielemans, Maddison, and Ndidi is just phenomenal, but they are currently sat at 19th with 30 points, picking up 8 wins this whole season, equal with Nottingham Forest, which is bloody awful, honestly. So, yeah, I think they're going to lose a lot of players, and I think they're going to go down. And Dean Smith is not a very good manager, and sacking Brendan Rodgers, I think, was the wrong move. So I have them in the bin / relegated. Liverpool. I think there's no other spot for them. A lot of people thought they were going to really do something this season, whether it was in Europe or in the Premier League, and they failed to impress. They're currently sat 5th, 4 points behind United, and they're probably going to end up playing Europa League next season, which, fingers crossed as a United fan they are, because I don't like them at all. They were recruited. They got the likes of Darwin Núñez.
Darwin Núñez, he came from Benfica to the Big Reds. It's frightening with him and Luis Diaz. There's nobody else like Darwin Núñez.
They got the likes of Cody Gakpo in January. And look, they kept hold of all their big players. They've got the likes of Kanate and Van Dijk and Salah and Jota, etc. Even though they're losing Firmino next season, they should be back to their best as they've come good in last week. I think they're on a 6-game winning streak. So, yeah. Liverpool in less than impressed. Man City. I mean, need I say more? Oh, need I say more? Man City in God tier. They just outclass every team they play. They are probably the best team in the world. Erling Haaland has only just added to their plethora of attackers and how good they are at scoring goals.
Gutta kan dere slutte å prate så mye, da blir det ikke noe løye. Prat heller om verdenskrise, jeg synes det er mye viktige gutter. Jeg er lyng og alle vet det, jeg er han så du kan se på TV, så til og med bra uten.
The likes of Kevin De Bruyne, the likes of John Stones, the likes of Ruben Diaz, the likes of Edison, Rodri, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Foden, Grealish, I can go on. They are so good, and I think they will win the Champions League this season. Fingers crossed Real Madrid knock them out in the second leg. And I think they will win the league, and hopefully United beat them in the FA Cup final so they don't win the treble. Next is Manchester United. And I've got them very good. Look, a lot of people, I'll put my hands up. I didn't have a lot of faith at the start of the season, but a lot of people had them in a Europa League spot. I had faith that we'd scrape 4th, and we've scraped 4th. So by my expectations, they should probably be down here. But by the general consensus of probably most people that are football fans, it has to be here. They were playing an amazing brand of football in that middle patch of the year, probably anywhere from about September to January. They were insane. Marcus Rashford resurrected. Ten Hag has got the best football he's ever played in his career out of him. And yeah, the likes of Lisandro Martinez, Varane, Anthony, Sancho, even Fernandes, they look like they're playing their best football under Erik ten Hag. So there's a big project there, and if they recruit right, I think they'll be really, really good next season. I think they'll definitely be in the top 2 or 3 teams in the league. Newcastle. God tier. I don't think a lot of people had them getting Champions League. I had them for Europa League spot. I think I had them about 6th, but 3rd is phenomenal. A Carabao Cup final against United, and obviously they lost that game, but they are playing some amazing football. Eddie Howe is doing an absolute wonder job at that club. If they secure Champions League, which there's a chance they might not, but if they do, it'll be the first time that club has played Champions League since 2003. So 20 years, effectively, they haven't played European football for. So big pat on the back to Newcastle, likes of Isak, Gimaresh, the squad's phenomenal, and they're all hardworking players. Nottingham Forest. If they stay up, it'll be we'll take it. If they go down, that's obviously going to be down here, but we'll take it. They've recruited some amazing players, but they're not getting the best out of them. The fact that they're even considered for relegation is ridiculous. They've spent hundreds of millions of pounds, recruited the likes of Keylor Navas, Awoniyi, Jesse Lingard, Frula, whatever his name is. They've got a great squad. There is no denying that, but they just cannot string together a good string of games. I'd love to see them stay up as they're a big club, but they need to do better. But I think if they do stay up, that was the ultimate goal of this season in securing that they survive in the Premier League. Big club. They've obviously won 2 European Cups. Yeah. Nottingham Forest, I'll put them in. We'll take it. Southampton, obviously, they'll probably just go in between Everton and Chelsea.
Well, you just knew that was going to happen. That was going to happen.
It got confirmed that they will be going down as of last night when they lost. They are going down. Sad to see. They've been in the Premier League for 11 years, and they're going to lose a lot of players, I can tell you that much. Roman Lavia, James Ward-Prowse will obviously leave, and I can see a few other players like Junepo and Kyle Walker-Peters all leaving the club because, they are Premier League quality players, and I don't think they're going to be coming back up for some time as they really need to rebuild that squad. There is a lot of dead wood in that team. Tottenham.
What do you think of Tottenham?
Less than impressed. I had them finishing 2nd this season, as context. Conte, he's a born winner. He's won Inter, Juve, Chelsea, almost everywhere he's gone. And he comes to Spurs, and the end of last season looked promising, especially using Kane and Son right, bringing in Kulusevski and Bentancur. Then he recruited Richarlison and Longley, and even brought Danjuma in. He got a lot of players. Perisic, he's really revamped the squad, and it was just underwhelming. They were so bad. They were just the worst football and so defensively minded. It was atrocious. So yeah. West Ham. Less than impressed. They finished 7th last season, and now they're 15th for context. So I think there's no other spot you can really put them. They're going to lose players guaranteed. They'll lose Declan Rice. They'll probably lose Paqueta. They'll probably lose Said Benrahma. I can see them also losing Thomas Souček, etc. They're a big club nonetheless, but I think his time's up. I think he needs to go. So yeah, less than impressed, and I'm actually kind of surprised they survived relegation because there was one point where it was looking really scary for them. And Wolverhampton Wanderers will take it. They're currently sat in 13th. They've got a good manager. They've got a good squad. If they can keep hold of their players, they might be a bit better next season. Julian Lopetegui obviously managed the likes of Sevilla and Real Madrid and the Spanish national team. I think he brings a lot of experience to the Wolves squad. And yeah, that's about it. That was a pretty quick run through of the 20 teams and how I ranked them. What do you think? Anything I got wrong? Anything you'd like me to react to? Please give me suggestions, as I want to know what people want to watch. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Share the video around, and see you next time.
People say Chelsea is for Leicester. We've got